All right, so when I have this right here, I know that when we're looking at that one solution, we're going to write our answer as an ordered triple. Now, you may have heard the phrase ordered pair from Algebra 1, even geometry, but an ordered triple is going to be 3 letters, but they are still in alphabetical order. X, comma, Y, comma, Z. And one thing I want to clarify before we go any further is the Z here. This is the number 2, how at least I write it, where this right here is the letter Z. Notice it looks like a 2, but just has the extra line through it. So just to make sure we're all on the same page there. The Z looks like a 2, but just has a line through it. So that's how I'm going to write that. Standard form for an equation with 3 variables. All it is a number with an X in front of it, plus another number with a Y, plus a third with a Z equals my last number right there. So here's an example. I might say 2x minus 4y plus 5z equals 11. That's one of the equations that you might see. Now, because it has 3 different letters, chances are there's going to be more than one equation. And in fact, there's probably going to be 3 different equations, one essentially for each variable. So just another example, 5x minus 4y plus 10z equals 2. So these might be the problems that we are initially going to see. Those numbers are just random. I'm just kind of making them up to show you what an example looks like for this right here. There is some blank space here on that page that we're currently writing on. Feel free to leave some of that blank. We might use that coming back with some different examples. All right. Example 1. We're going to solve this system using elimination. Now, students, these problems, they can be intense. These problems, they may take 10 to 15 minutes to do one problem. These problems can be frustrating because you're doing all of this math and you make one simple mistake with a negative sign and it throws everything out of whack. Mistakes happen. I hope that I am not making the mistake here. Not that I hope that you do, but they just happen throughout the course of the time, right? So be mindful, be diligent about not making mistakes with that, and we can go from there. All right. What I want to do here is, first off, because I have so many of them, I actually want to number these equations. That's the first thing I want to do. That way, when I'm saying, hey, can you look at that equation? Now you know. If I say, oh, look at equation 2. Now you know exactly which one I'm talking about. All right? Here's the first goal. I am going to pair 2 equations up to cancel or to eliminate one letter. So think about elimination, even back from Algebra 1 or what we did on 2A. Here's what I mean by that. Look at these 2. Did these 2 eliminate nicely? The x and the 2x? Not really. Are they opposite numbers? No, they're not. 2 and 1 are not opposite. What about this, what I'm highlighting in yellow? In yellow, look at the z's. See how, at least, I'm trying just to do the top 2. Those top 2 are opposites right there. So if I brought down 1 and 2, I'm going to bring down equation 1 and equation 2. So 2x minus y plus z equals 4. X plus 3y minus z equals 11. I'm going to add them straight down. Caden, what do you think here? If I add it straight down, how many x's do I have? And the same question, but now with the y's, Caden? 2y plus 2y. What about the z's? Yeah, they are out of here. And then I have it equal 15. Now, what I want to do here, students, great job, Caden. What I want to do here is to label that equation 4. The reason why I want to label it equation 4 is because of the way that I'm going to reference that a little bit later. Along with that, what I need to do is I need to now use my third equation, and I don't mean that in the essence of number 3. What I mean to do is to say my unused equation. So Sierra, if I look right here, see how I used equations 1 and 2? What's the number that I haven't used from the original?
3.
So in this case, it is the third. I need to use my third equation, my unused equation, and one of the others to eliminate the same letter. I need to use my third equation and one other. So here we go. Here's number 3. It's 4x plus y minus z to eliminate, equals 14, to eliminate the same letter. Maureen, on the first one, 1 and 2, what letter did eliminate it out?
Z.
The z's. Which one or 2, pairs nicely with this third one right here?
1.
I agree. If I pair 1 up, nope, that's not what I'm trying to do. There we go. If I pair 1 up, it's 2x minus y plus z equals 4. What's going to happen then is now something's going to eliminate. Ava, if I'm adding this straight down, how many x's do I have? Nice. Y's. What happens, Ava, with the y's? Yeah, they are out of here, which is okay because also the letter that I'm trying to eliminate, z's, also eliminate. That is just a coincidence. Okay? That is just a coincidence, but it's nice because now I have an equation with just one letter on it. Dylan, what does x equal? I could continue to solve this here, divide both sides by 6, and I get 3. Technically, that's where I want to be. I want to pair the 2 equations up to eliminate one letter. I'm going to label that 4. And then I'm going to use the unused equation and another one to get equation 5. Now, the second step is to solve 4 and 5. Now, I've already got one letter. So I have 4 here and 5. 5 is really just x equals 3. And 3x plus 2y equals 15 is equation 4. Sandy, where can this 3 go? In for what letter? Well, it could. I'm not saying you're wrong. I definitely could plug it in for number 1. But that's not going to help me find what I'm looking for. Here's what I mean by that. If I plug X into number 1, see how I still have 2 letters missing? Right? So that wouldn't be helpful. If I plugged it into 4, though, see how I only have 1 letter missing if I plug X in? So that's what I want to do here. I want to say, okay, 3 times X, which in this case was also 3, plus 2y equals 15. So 9 plus 2y is 15. 2y equals 6, and y is also 3. And the last and third and final step is plug my first 2 answers, in this case X and Y, into one of the original problems. So we have a 3 for X, we have a 3 for Y. Elijah, look back here at the original ones. Which one does it seem the easiest to find Z in? 1, 2, or 3?
I did 1.
Sure. In just a second, I want to know what answer you get. Cassie, I know I'm kind of limiting it, but in your opinion, 2 or 3, which one seems the easiest for you to plug X and Y in and find Z? Sure. Go ahead and try that, please. I'm going to do 3, and I want to see, comparing our answers, Elijah, Cassie, and myself, to make sure it doesn't really matter which equation that we use. So here we go. Remember, it said X is 3 and Y was 3. I'm going to use the third one. So 4X plus Y minus Z equals 14. Pick one of them, students. Is it? I think you're right.
I think it is supposed to be negative 1.
You what?
Aren't you subtracting 15 from 14, making that negative 1, and then it's negative Z equals negative 1?
Yeah, that's a good call. I should do a better job checking, huh? All right, Elijah, what'd you get?
I got negative 1. Or, sorry, not negative 1, sorry. 1.
Nice. Cassie, what'd you get?
1.
I also got 1. So it doesn't matter which equation. 15 minus what number is 14? 15 minus 1 is 14, at least the way that I wrote it. You could subtract the 15 over and get negative Z equals negative 1, which means Z is 1 right there. Okay? Students, how would I write my answer? Which number has to come first? X has to be first. Brandon, what has to come next? Y or Z? Why? Because I said so. That's why. And then Z comes last. Students, there it is. Eliminate one letter. Find a letter and start plugging things back in. it might be helpful just because you have some space on the front side, or the first page of this lesson is what I'm trying to say. Maybe flip back to that, because this next problem we're going to do is not on the notes packet. Okay, this next page is not on, or this next problem, excuse me, is not on the notes packet. All right, try this one here, and we're going to do it together. X minus y plus z equals -1. X plus y plus 3z equals -3. 2x minus y plus 2z equals 0. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean for that to be off the screen there. You know, there is an empty desk over there. So there is an empty desk if it's a little too tight. That's true. Called dibs. True. He had dibs on the first day though, didn't he? I'm fine if you sit there. I will just say I'm asking you just to maybe keep your hands to yourself. Oh my goodness. We know, Millen, whoever denied it supplied it type of thing. Not yet. All right, number 1 here. Here's my question. I have these 3, right? 1, a 2, and a 3. Which letter seems to eliminate nicely in 2 of the equations? X's, Y's, or Z's? Nolan, what say you?
Y.
I agree. Which 2 do you want to use first?
1 and 2.
Let's do it. Let's use 1 and 2 right here. 1 and 2. When I copy down 1 and 2, x minus y plus z equals -1. X plus y plus 3z equals -3. That's what I'm going to be using right here. Nolan, you were right. The y's are out of here. 2x plus 4z equals -4. That is what we're going to call equation 4. Notice I took the equations. I saw y, or actually, excuse me, Nolan saw that y canceled very nice, so nice, with 1 and 2. Carter, if I use 1 and 2, what's the equation that I have to use next?
3.
I have to use 3. Excellent. Dincoda, what do you think? 3, because I'm looking at this right here. 3 and what is going to cancel really nicely with the y? Is it 1 or 2?
I would say 2.
I would agree with you. So I'm going to take a look here at that. And if I write 3 down, 2x minus y plus 2z equals 0. Dincoda said that that would very nicely cancel with that right there. Let's go ahead and add it straight down. 3x, see you later, plus 5z equals -3. We're going to call that equation 5. Students, let's pair up 4 and 5. Let's pair up 4 and 5. So here's 5. Here's 3x plus 5z equals -3. Adele, what do you think? We have 4 and 5. We're going to cancel them again. Which letter, in your opinion, cancels nicely? Or which one are you going to choose to cancel? Need 10 seconds to think about it? Sure. Sure. If I'm going to eliminate the z's, which is completely fine, Charlie, what would I have to multiply the top equation by?
Probably 5.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this is 4a and 5a, right? Because it's really 4. But I'm going to multiply every single thing by 5. 10x plus 20z equals negative 20. Now, Charlie, you're right. Where did the 5 come from, though? How did you know that was the case?
Because 5z, or because of the 5z, 5 next to z.
Oh, yeah. So now we can then multiply the bottom equation by
4.
not 4, negative 4, right? Because we want it to be opposites. So if I multiply this equation right here by negative 4 the entire way through, I have negative 12x minus 20z equals 12. Negative 2x out of there. Negative 8, and x is 4. Students, that's the first answer. That is my first one. Ooh, ooh. Travis, I have 4. What equation has x and one other letter? If I use the first one here, it looks like it has 2 other letters, right? So I don't want to use one of the originals. Sure. Or 4, or 5, or 5a, right? Any of those work out. We know that right here, it's going to say, I'm going to use 4. 2 times x plus 4z equals negative 4. 8 plus 4z equals negative 4. 4z equals negative 12. And z equals negative 3. Now I have 2. Of the answers here. Jack, what do you think? What equation has an x, a z, and another letter we have not found? Yeah. Or, as somebody whispered to you, 3, yes. Any of those original ones, right? 1, 2, or 3. Let's go ahead and plug it in. Jack, you just said 1. So x minus y, we don't know that one yet, plus z, or in this case minus 3, equals negative 1. 4 minus y minus 3 equals negative 1. 1 minus y equals negative 1. I could move the 1 over, divide by it, but maybe just in basic math, we could say 1 minus what number is negative 1? 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Millen, what number has to come first? What number has to come second? Because it's y. Notice, students, it's not the order that you find them. It is in alphabetical order. All right, Marine, go for it. Here's what I want you to do. This next thing. This is something where you need to work together in your group. I'm going to write an equation here. Find some space in your paper. Maybe it's a blank space in a margin. Maybe it's a backside of a paper. Maybe you want to flip forward. Find some space. This next problem is, again, not initially in your notes. I want you to write it down, and then I want you not to start it yet, though. Please don't start it. Here it is. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, here's what I want you to do, students. I want you to take this. Obviously, yes, write it down. I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds or so to do that, and then I want to give you some directions. Students, those of you watching this video recording, I'm going to take a quick pause here. You may hear some stuff in the background, but I'm going to go talk around and walk with some students, and I'll be back to the camera maybe in 5 or 10 minutes or so. All right, here are the directions I want to give you. As a group, decide which letter to eliminate first. I don't care which one it is. I might come around and ask you, but talk as a group. Hey guys, we're going Z, right? Or whatever that is. And when you decide that, you as a group come to a consensus. And when you decide that, I want you to decide which two equations you're going to add together first to eliminate that letter. Do that. When you have that done, decide what the next two equations are. I basically am asking you to get to 4 and 5. Which letter I should put first?
Sorry.
Which letter would be the easiest to eliminate in your opinion? So remember, to eliminate it, we want to have opposite numbers in front of the same letter.
Oh, why?
Yeah. And which two would you want to do first?
1 and 2.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I'll come back, okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, right.
What's the X is Y or Z? Charlie, what are the first two equations you're going to use to eliminate?
I used 1, 2.
Yeah, makes sense. So you get 4, 11, that means you have to use which one? You have to use 3 and the question, which one are you going to use? But you have to adjust it by multiple too, okay? Sorry. Let me see. So was this good? What? Now I had a hot pocket in such a long time. Was it pepperoni pizza? Yeah. So here's what we're doing. You notice here we've eliminated the ones, right? So I now need to eliminate one of those. One of your peers just said they were going to choose to do this. So wouldn't this one have to be 20?
I'm just trying to solve it.
The reason for that is that's how the equation ended, right? So multiply this by 5 and multiply that by -4. make sure that you multiply all of those by 5, right? You add all of those.
Multiply this.
All right, here's my question. What do we go? A, I'm sorry, X, Y, or Z?
To get
Well, it wasn't my choice, but yes, I agree. Oh, I would have done twice. 1 and 2, nice. That means, Millen, you have to use what equation in your next derivative? He said 1 and 2, he's gonna get 4. What equation have we not used? We have used 3.
Now we're just.
So, when we use 3, which one pairs up with 3 to cancel the y's out? 1 or 2?
3x.
But if you do 1, you have to do what we're doing. You see how 1 is just y, 3 is 2y. Excuse me, negative y for number 1. How do you make that negative 2y? Multiply by 2, right? So take some time, add 1 and 2 together like you suggested. Move over, do 1 and 3, but you said multiply that top one by 2, right? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna just. Multiply by 3.
So 1 and 2.
Well, I did 4.
Above different. Above which I don't know.
Or you mean by above?
No.
Here's Marie, we're just trying to look at we're just asking what letter would eliminate in this problem right here. It's not on your
Oh my God.
What do we put?
That there, yeah.
First and second, nice. Have to use the third one, right? We do it the next time. Which one? This is a video question. Which one carries the trick is number 3?
So why?
You have, okay, good. You have to do this because you said you were right? So when we do 3, we need to do y. So which one or 2 pairs up I agree, but I need to adjust that, right? That's why I have to multiply 1 by 3. So that's what I want you to do next time. Work together. You should be getting the same numbers because it kind of has a consistency in how we're using it.
I'm dead serious.
Right. What do we decide?
Wait, what do you get y as?
Yeah.
Well, I get it. All right. So which equation is
You were supposed to, this is, my whole paper was a mess right now, but you were supposed to not get them to equal each other, but multiply them by each other, so, you know, 4x plus 3 equals, and 2x plus 6 equals 8, multiply this by negative 6 and this by 3.
Oh,
But use 3.
I know, but that's the only
I agree, but what would that is? We need to adjust it, right?
So wait, you had it completely. But you said you just did it.
I checked it. I have checked it with equation 2. 4 plus 6 minus 6 equals 4. I don't know if this work.
You try with 1 and 3.
Not yet. I'll do it.
Brendan, what letter did you as a decide to eliminate here?
no.
First. We can use 1 and 2, but what letter is that in? Yeah, why, right? So if you go 2, 1, 2, then which means we need to use 3 the next time. My dad, if I use 3 the next time, we'll show 1.
Yeah.
1 or 2. Nice thing.
It's just someone right there.
Yes.
It's all
Well,
good.
Ollie plays 5, right?
Yes, that's not gonna cancel all lines though, right? I'm actually, when we use 1 and 2, so you can cancel nicely. If you did 1 and 3, don't you have to move up to the top equation by 2? Oh, and that's fine, but that's why I was asking as a group to stay there. So when you say 3 and 2, it's simple. 3 and 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 2. You wrote number 3 down correctly. Number 3 says x minus y plus 4z equals 4. X plus 2y plus 4z equals 5. I should look, but I don't like, I usually just have to hold, I know where it flows.
Plus equation 5.
I was just trying to find a girl that McKenna followed on Instagram.
I'm good.
I was like, I said she knows her, and then I was like, I'm not. So then I went like this. And then I did this. I went like this. I was like,
You can, but you're gonna get a different answer because you're not, we're doing 2 different problems. What's it?
I think they're fine. It's just, they're not hard. I always like write down things every day. So if I write down the wrong thing for like one problem, I don't put everything in it. It's just very extremely time consuming. What would you now?
No, that's part of another
It's
I just didn't write it all.
Broken lamp. There's like a wax in the lamp body too.
I figured out how to grapple my iPhone.
oh yeah.
It looks like the inside of the lamp is just like filled with wax. Like it looks like someone melted a bunch of wax and then rolled it around in there.
This is fine, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just
You guys got rid of it.
interesting setup.
You guys got rid of the one equation.
What even is
Why
that?
the other? You do that. You have to get rid of the same one.
And then a bunch of salt.
Like I'm done. Ike keeps looking at my. Try to find the Y. Or actually find the Z. Because we got one.
We went for Y.
And that eliminates the y, so you have to use 3, right? And your next time is 3 and
I wear it here.
It'll probably start getting harder when you move to like, like when you get harder numbers, like they don't, it can't allow as easy.
It just doesn't.
There's not even a Y in there. Like, how do you?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, it probably just forces you to like,
Okay, so we're just, how do we have to pair it up? What do we have to do because the Y's don't exist, right? How do we change this?
it's not like he's playing.
This top equation has to say 6x minus 2y plus 2z equals 6.
That was like a fun one, and it will definitely start getting more fun.
The number that's closer to
Decimals,
right? So you pass it by 2. Yep.
excited.
And then you do 11 here, you have to do the same level.
Oh, wait, I see what you're
Oh, God, it's
Mine is, where am I looking at? You should be getting the exact same as this one now. Number 3 equation.
I know, like, some things like math are like, as long as which is why I do all the
It's supposed to be, number 3 is supposed to be plus 2y. Yeah, then you're gonna go to 6 and
Plus 2z equals 6. I got you. I got all.
Well,
I didn't know it.
using these things, you have equation 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5. So plug x back into either 4. So on x into 4, 0, 5. And then whatever you get for z, so like if x is 1, you get 2 plus 6z, 8, right? You'll get 6 divided by 6. Z is also 1. And then you plug x and z into 1, 2, or 3. So you can put it straight. 3 minus y plus 1. So 4 minus y equals 3. So y would also be 1.
This is sad. When we multiply 1 by 2, are we always multiplying 4 by 2?
You don't have to, because the only reason for multiplying 1 by 2 is to get the y's to eliminate right here.
Okay. So now, do we have to do anything else with any of the other equations? So it'll be.
Now you have these two, see how both of these have an x and a z. Now you can just work from those two. Like you would for 1% on top. Maybe you need to adjust it again. So right at the end. Yes. Give me 1 second.
So that's 6z equals 4.
Okay, nice. No, only the top, because if you multiply this by 2, won't these be in a way that we can eliminate? Well, what I mean by it is, with this right here, be 6x minus 2y plus 2z equals 6. Wouldn't these eliminate x and I can just add, I'm obviously ignoring this, but I can just add straight down.
I did one on the line graph, line 2, when the greater than.
I didn't know like go like steps though.
Yeah, I
So once I
did
got
that on the shading, I was trying to find if it was like greater than on the left, I shaded on.
and once you get to this step, you're gonna start plugging back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
This is wrong.
So which one have you not used yet?
Then I moved that 9.
If you have used 3, that's this one, then we'll know it.
Certain things that I learned during Flash, like, what did we forgot? The like shading.
Where, so right here it
Not
says
learned, but
canvas,
like, I
see
think
how it
part of
says
like,
2Y here?
some shading.
Somehow you changed it to 2Y, it says Y, but you wrote 2Y. Then it says 2Z, it says 4, so go ahead and eliminate.
You multiply this by 2.
But what that's going to do then, is going back, right here,
6x is 2y.
is that's going to then, now I can just eliminate these right here, right? So don't use this, but add it again. I don't have to adjust it, but now add these straight down.
2z plus 3 9z 7x.
I'll be right back. And then Millen, walk me through using 3, okay, right, and then another one. I'll be right there, guys. Travis comes back.
That doesn't have to. Yeah, yes. But then how did you get the 3?
Yeah.
You wrote 2.
It's still runs on me. I want to figure out the moves.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. No, that one was not changed.
Do you have a side of
Yeah, they was not changed.
I have
Like a half or half.
what do you have? What do you have?
Oh my god.
Normal C, fast forward to you, right? We've also, I'm trying to do this too, for 3 guys.
Yeah.
So you see what, so you use 1 and 2, what does that mean? You have to use which one? You use 3, so let's go ahead and, did you write that down anywhere? So you have to write it down here.
7x plus 6.
What did you do the last time where you thought you had it? Better be right, I think it is. Better be right.
Okay, so now, which one, 2 or 1, because that's not 3, pairs nicely to cancel with this one right here? Okay, there's not a wrong answer. Well, I'm only looking at the y's, because you eliminated y's here, so I have to eliminate the y's again. Sure, and if I do number 1, what number does that have to be right here? Can it just be negative y and 2y? What would you have to multiply this one by?
Eli, did you get a decimal?
No, they should all be whole numbers.
Yeah.
Let me see if you did the same thing as
They're holding me down, putting a scribe. To every step I have to triple check, and then something goes wrong in my paper.
I was like, I have. What did you get for?
Now, there should be,
Do you have any of the other ones?
Should I use, yeah, I'm right this time, let me fix it.
We need to go to.
Pulls out this. Jack, just tell me right now. I don't know.
Oh, wait, is it Jack?
the only reason so you should
Hey
have.
guys, hear me out, it's right this time, and then like pulls out like Z.
So then put those right over into the same.
Hang on.
Oh,
Yeah, you,
Okay, now pause right here.
you're actually,
Did
okay.
any of the letters
To even out these two
Right, so we didn't
equations,
do this.
you have to multiply.
What I'm saying is, the whole goal of us adding equations together is to get rid of one of
Multiply it by.
those. So if I look at these two right
3
here,
and 1.
which is this one, this one comes from just
1 and
above.
2.
What if I multiply this one by negative 2?
I did 1 and 2, and
Wouldn't that
then 1
turn
and 3.
into z's? Right. Yeah, so go ahead
You
and
have to
raise that
multiply
bar.
not just one
And
equation.
just try that suggestion.
The kayak?
I'm not fixing all of that. I'm not fixing all of it.
Together, which ones did we add together first? We said 1 and 2.
But I still have that.
3,
Oh my god.
3 and 1. So if you take 3 right here, and you pair it up with 1. 1 underneath there. What did you say you were gonna adjust it, right? So what is that? You could just put it on 3.
And then I actually went home what's the bigger?
So even if you need to write that next to it, then you can pass it straight
I
down.
don't have enough money in that.
So now when you do these, you wanna do the same thing, and here's what I mean, you had to look at it to actually get it to answer. So the same thing.
It's 6 times 4 is negative 8. It's not adding.
Makes sense, but however,
What's negative 4?
when you do this, you should have also eliminated.
I think I fixed your problem here.
Same lessons. So, not -3, but what?
Not 9. Now plug that in.
I have this down. But I erased it all because I had it out.
Divided by -2, -8.
You asked me right now. Negative 8x. No, right, negative 8x. Under the equation.
So, but we can address these and
It's negative 3 times negative 6.
we address.
Negative 60.
What's
negative, or I mean, what's 7 times negative 2?
On fair skin. Yeah. So I'm like, let's just go back there. Cause she didn't have a reason why it. So she now has. I've been begging her. I literally write her what
This number right here. Because you did 2 times 3, 6, and you get 7, right? Over here is 2 times 3.
Minus 60 equals negative 1.
Oh, mine's a good.
All right, students, let's keep going here. Let's try the next one. Just to make sure that we're on the right path. Wasn't it, Dakota, what did you come up with again?
4, 6, -3.
In the particular order, 4, -6, he said. Excuse me, +6, he said. And -3 right there. All right. We can look at that more a little bit later, but here, this problem. This problem right here. When we're looking at it, notice that not all 3 of them have all 3 letters. If we strategically plan this out, we could eliminate some of the work that we actually are using here. What I mean by that is maybe I want to switch this around. So it says -5x plus 4z equals 4. If I eliminate the y, nope, that's not what I'm trying to say. If I eliminate, what am I trying to think about here? If I try to eliminate the z's, on the first and the third, it might be helpful in actually making this problem not as long and not as many steps. So here we go. I have 1 and 3. It's 2x plus 3y minus 2z equals -1. 3 is -5x plus, and you don't have to put this there, but notice I'm putting 0y just kind of as a placeholder. Plus 4z. I was wondering when he was coming back. Oh my. Been a while since I've seen you here. It's been a while. Right here, notice, I need to actually manipulate this, right? If I multiply by 2, wouldn't I have 4x plus 6y minus 4z equals -2? It's really equation 1, but it's a little bit changed. 1a. Not that you have to call it that, but just if we're looking for names. That way I know it's affiliated with 1. Looks like I have -x plus 6y. The z's are out of there. And it equals 2. This is what we typically call equation 4. And notice equation 4 and 2, they have the exact same letters. What I mean by that is, bringing it down, it's x plus 5y equals 9er. See how the x is eliminated very nicely? And I come up with 1 for the y. I need an equation that has a y and one other letter. Sierra, can you find an equation 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 that has a y and one other letter?
5.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, 5 is the same as 2 up here in the original, right? So I could use 5 or 2. I could have also said 4. Let's plug it into 5 as Sierra is suggesting. X plus 5y equals 9er. X plus 5 equals 9er. X equals 4. Well, we've got 2 of them. What's an equation? You with us, Millen? What's an equation that has a 4, a 1, and also another letter? Dakota? Number 1. Not that he's saying wrong. Also number 3, right? Doesn't number 3 have one letter that we don't know, but we know all the rest? Has an X and a Z. Then Dakota, you could absolutely use number 1. Not a problem. If done correctly, we'd get the same answer as using number 3. I'm choosing number 3 because it has less numbers in it. So I said -5 times x plus 4z equals 4. -20 plus 4z equals 4. 4z equals 24 and z equals 6. So that would be our final answer. 4, 1, 6 right there. All right, students, I want to take a look here. Story problems. Story problems are not as intense because a lot of times they don't have all the letters for all of the problems here. If I continue to scroll here, you cannot use Desmos like the 2x2s here. So I don't really have a situation where I'm going to use X, Y, and Z for some of these, but I am going to just try to make sure that I know what the variables are. We'll do that after reading the problem. You manage a clothing store and budget is $6,000 to restock 200 shirts. You can buy t-shirts for 12, polo for 24, the old rugby for 36. If you want to buy twice as many rugby shirts as polo, how many of each type should you buy? That is assuming you want to spend all of your money. So variables, we'll say instead of X, Y, and Z, we'll say T is for the t-shirts, P is for the polo, and R is for the rugby. Now, students, we're going to take each sentence just like above or just like on the 2A and make a sentence out of it here. So here's the first one. We're going to restock shirts. So it's T plus P plus R equals 200. There's that first equation right there. Next up is all of the prices. So it says $12 for the t-shirt, $24 for the polo, and $36 for the rugby for a total of $6,000. Remember that came from the 6,000, the 12, 24, and 36 right there. The last equation is this one right here. You want to buy twice as many rugby shirts as polo shirts. So let's think about this. Let's say, Millen, there's a marker over your right shoulder, but you can hand that to me on the marker chart. Right here, with your eyes, I have a T-chart. And I says twice as many
Polos.
thank you, polos as rugby shirts. Let's just kind of make it up here. So if I have 4 polos,
Twice as many rugbies as polos.
twice as many rugbies as polos. If I want twice as many rugbies as polos, what number of shirts would rugby be?
8.
Wouldn't it have to be 8 here? What if I wanted 20 rugby shirts? How many polo shirts? 10. So this begs the question, is it P equals 2R or 2P equals R? Which one has to be multiplied by 2 in order for it to be the same? Isn't the P column have to be multiplied by 2? So wouldn't this pink equation right here have to say 2P equals R? That right there? Making sure that it makes sense in the context of the problem. Students, I could take this and plug it into R to say it's T plus P plus 2P, right? Because we said we're substituting, equals 200. That's this one right here. Instead of saying R, I'm saying 2P. Instead of it saying 12T plus 24P plus 36R, it's plus 36 times 2P equals 6,000. Don't we have some like terms to combine here? T plus 3P equals 200. That's just this one right here. Combining all my P's together. Isn't the second equation right here 12T plus 96P equals 6,000? Remember where that 96 is coming from? It's really this right here. 96 is coming from the 24 and the 52. Right here, the 3P is coming from that. Levin, what do you think? What do you want to choose to do to eliminate either the T or the P?
Multiply the equations by. Wait, if you eliminate with these two right here.
Sure.
Out of their bucket. You could multiply the first equation by negative 12. to
Let's
get
do
rid
it.
of the T.
That makes perfect sense. So I'm going to multiply this one by negative 12 because now, if I do that, it's going to be negative 12T. 12 times 3 is 36, so negative 36P. 12 times 2 is 24, so negative 12 times 200 is negative 2,400. The T's are out of there. I can now subtract straight down 60P, or excuse me, add straight down, my apologies. 96P minus 36P, or 96P plus negative 36P. Over here, I want to do the same thing, and that's 3,600. 60P, it looks like 60 polo shirts. Wait a second. If I know the polo shirts, how many rugby shirts are there? Don't I have to take 2 times the number in polo shirts, and that's R? That's R is 120. So how many t-shirts did we buy? I need a total of 200. So wouldn't the t-shirts be 20? Make sure that you kind of come to a consensus as an answer. 20 t-shirts. 60 rugbies. And 60 polos, my apologies. 60 polo. And 120 rugby. Sometimes the story problems might seem like they're a little bit harder, but they kind of might be straightforward. Right? You might look at some decimals, things like that. But that's really what we're seeing right here. So students, here's what I want you to do. First off, 2B. Big ideas. These problems definitely take a little bit longer. So what I'm asking for is